It's 8 p.m. in Banjul, and from our studios on MDI Road, this is the news. First, the headlines. Another award for President Jammeh. African Leadership Magazine, a reputable international organization, recognizes the remarkable development initiatives being championed by the Gambian leader. Gambians gear up for Eid prayers, with many making last-minute attempts to secure sacrificial rams. A good number have already benefited from the presidential ram sales, which is underway at the July 22nd Square in Banjul. Burkina Faso's parliament announces the disbanding of the elite Presidential Guards unit amid tension in the West African state. And Pentagon chiefs deny turning a blind eye to reports of child sex abuse by U.S. military in Afghanistan. Well, these and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I'm Winifred Nicole. Thanks for joining us. The prestigious African Leadership Magazine has given a Mauritius Award to the President, His Excellency, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, for the enviable developments he initiated over the years. The award was received by the Vice President, Her Excellency Aja Dr. Aissatou Sedi, on behalf of the President in Washington, D.C. We have more in this report by Ibrahim Balde.
Members of the editorial board of the African Leadership Magazine are fully aware of the huge potential in the United States and the diaspora in terms of investment opportunities in Africa. Taking advantage of the untapped opportunities back home, the African Leadership Magazine is of the belief that Africans in the diaspora should invest heavily in the continent to spur economic growth.
We believe that Africa has come of age, Africa is making progress, the narrative about Africa has changed, and there are leaders who are contributing. This is by no means a final list, but for this year, among the others who are doing well, the two which came up the most is the President of Gambia and the President of Namibia. And the reasons are simple. We're trying to say the narrative about Africa shouldn't be as defined by the Western media. It is time we define what we see. I've gone to Gambia. It's a tourist heaven. It's one of the few places in Africa where you see both expatriates on the street. Everybody's at peace. There are no issues of terrorism. There's calm, and leadership is working.
By singling out two African leaders in the passing of President Haji Genop of Namibia and the President, His Excellency, Sept Professor Alhaji Dr. A.J.J. Jammeh of the Gambia, for their efforts in spearheading numerous development programs is worthy of commendation.
There must have been extreme thought, a great deal of thought which has gone into this. I have had the opportunity of dealing with these people, and I can tell you that they're extremely thoughtful. And let me just say this, that the one place on my bucket list is in fact Gambia. So I trust that I will have the opportunity sooner rather than later to come there, and certainly for us to open up a law office in Gambia, because I know there are significant opportunities in Gambia, and we want to take advantage of those opportunities by bringing African Americans to come there, as well as other, Americans generally, to come and see the beautiful place.
Renowned black African leader such as Martin Luther King III applauded the award, but was quick to say that when it comes to investment, the United States should do better.
I applaud the magazine for honoring those who have done work on the continent and continue. Obviously, there is a lot of work that is needed. African Americans must find a way to lobby Congress so that Congress will say, okay, instead of providing a small amount, we're going to make sure we are able to provide an even larger amount, because it does exist. And it's not just aid, it's also trade. There are viable business opportunity that some is being done, but it must go much further.
Summing up, the Vice President, Her Excellency Dr. Aissatou Sedi, said the latest award by the African Leadership Magazine is a clear manifestation of the development project President Jammeh initiated since he came to power.
We are not surprised. Any genuine Gambian, like I said, knows what developments are taking place in the Gambia. since 1994. It's always been progressive, not retrogressive development. And we've been gaining grants in a lot of areas. When we just started the MDGs, we were checked. The whole world was checked. And we said we should attain the MDGs that we set for ourselves as a globe. And the Gambia has attained most of them. And you know, you look at the economic sector, we're doing very well. Whilst the world was in global recession, the Gambia had 5% GDP growth and 10% general. I mean, that is, for a small country like the Gambia, with a narrow resource base. We say narrow because we have not started discovering the others. But despite that, because of the leadership we have, the leadership style, as we said in our statement, it's an innovative leadership style. But not only that, but it's a focused leadership style, a leadership with a vision, and a leadership that has the following of the Gambians and the trust of Gambians. So that is definitely commendable. And we are lucky as a country that it's not only Gambians who are genuine, who recognize His Excellency's efforts, but indeed the international community at large. That's why he won so many awards.
Ibrahima Balde, GRTS News.
Meanwhile, renowned African-American activists are not relenting in their quest to rally more support for Africa. The Gambian and Namibian presidents have been singled out by the African Leadership magazine for their role in ushering unprecedented developments in their countries. As we hear in this report by Ibrahima Balde, the point of emphasis at the just concluded African Leadership Awards was aimed at challenging the dominant mainstream narrative.
The Four-Seasons Hotel in Washington, D.C. provided the platform for what is likely to remain in the minds of these participants for a very long time. The organizers of the event say they are inspired by the dynamic leadership of the President, His Excellency Seth Professor Alhaji Dr. AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa, and the invaluable development projects he initiated over the years.
We have realized that the positive things going on in Africa, the leaders who are actually committed to advancing the story or changing the narrative of the larger African society have not been given enough media coverage. Look at what President Yahya did. He set free about over 300 prisoners and reintegrate them back into the society. The Western media are not talking about that. It is something that should have been on every front page of the newspaper, but nobody is talking enough about that. So what we are committed to doing as African Leadership magazine is to make sure that stories like these make front page. We have enough people doing the corruption cases, the HIV cases, but that is not all Africa has to offer. We have leaders like President Yahya who are committed to improving the lives of his people, and that is the story we want to tell. Positive stories of African leaders doing positive things for their people.
The Vice President, Her Excellency Aja Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi, and some members of cabinet who accompanied her to Washington marched in a single file to receive the award given to President Jammeh Babili Mansa.
The jury's choice of His Excellency the President is, however, validated by the receipt of similar awards, like I said earlier on, by His Excellency the President, measured by the criteria that was set by the jury itself. He's earned worldwide recognition and has been honored and decorated with numerous prestigious awards, the latest, of course, being a UN FAO's recognition of the Gambians, particularly in its achievement of surpassing what was set in MDG 1C targets of reducing prevalence of malnutrition and undernourishment to less than 5% in 2015, and the African Union Award in recognition of Gambia's attainment of MDG 9, which is, of course, access to clean and potable water, that is drinking water, within 15 minutes walk.
The night was also meant to decorate other distinguished personalities from across various areas of specialization. The recent award given to President Jammeh Babili Mansa by the prestigious Africa Leadership magazine is seen by others as a form of encouragement for the Gambian leader to continue doing the good work he is doing in the country.
If any institution decides to promote leadership, it's a good thing. Of course, anytime a leader is designated as a winner of an award, you see people who applaud and you see people who have reasons to criticize and say why. But I consider this kind of award as somehow what I should call an encouragement, a prodding to do better, to rule better and to make sure that at the end of the day, people who are ruled and led benefit from a good form of leadership. And I think that that's the reason why these type of events are important. And we should not see them as just ego-tripping and form of enhancing leaders without really making sure that they are prodded and supervised to make sure that they deliver on their promises and do show proper leadership.
What the African Leadership magazine seeks to do is to highlight the story of the African people with a view to encouraging many other people to invest on the continent. The high point of this year's event is the award given to the Namibian president and the Gambian president. Of course, the Gambian delegation was represented here on behalf of the president by the Vice President, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissata Njie Sedi, and a number of cabinet ministers who are here to receive the award on behalf of the Gambian president. Ibrahima Balde reporting from Washington for GRTS News.
The Presidential Tobaski Ram Sales is an annual event designed to provide Muslims and the general public with quality rams at very affordable prices. Samuel Ba was at the July 22nd Square on day one of the ram sales, and he prepares this news report.
Tobaski Ram sale officially opened on Tuesday afternoon at the July 22nd Square in Banjul. The annual gesture of benevolence extended to the Muslim faithful by the Gambian leader is designed to provide them with affordable rams for the sacrificial rite. With less than 72 hours to the Muslim feast of Tobaski, of course, preparations all over the world are in high gear. And here in the Gambia too, at the July 22nd grounds, of course, the scene is one of buying and selling. And indeed, the people we have spoken to are all indeed full of praises for the president for such a wonderful gesture. On the first day of the Tobaski Ram sale, scores of potential buyers have already converged around the perimeter of the historic July 22nd grounds, perhaps triggered by the affordable prices of the rams. The process, according to the chairperson of the Tobaski Ram sales, is very orderly, and they are hoping to meet the needs of the buyers who otherwise could not afford the expensive animals sold out in the markets.
So far, it's going smoothly. It's just that the number of people standing outside and the number of people wishing to come here to buy the Tobaski Ram is I think is on the rise. So it's a challenge for us to be able to satisfy everybody, to be honest with you. So we are trying our best, and His Excellency the President first, I must commend him, for this wonderful gesture, responding to the needs of Gambians. The rams outside, are very, very expensive. The average person cannot afford to buy those ones, definitely speaking. So this is why the President always intervenes.
I spoke to some of the buyers, most of whom are not first-timers to the President's annual ram sale. And the resonating answers are affordability and quality of the livestock.
Quite impressed, and I'm definitely happy with this move because looking at the rams that I saw here today, even though, as you said, I've not reached the queue yet, but then looking at the market price and then the value that they are charged here, definitely is close to 50%, cheaper than the normal market, and at least this will help those that don't have a lot of resources to at least get one for the Tobaski.
And as a Muslim, these rams are looking very good compared to those ones at Westfield. Yeah, they are very good. I've never seen it all over the world like what President Jammeh is doing. He's doing excellently, providing these rams for us. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to affordable price, and I will continue to pray for him and his family. May God continue to protect him, guide him and his family.
I came here to buy ram to HE, our able president. This, when you go out, they will tell you 8,000, 9,000, but here is 7,000. I'm very grateful about the president. He's always doing it for us. I'm very happy. I'm very grateful.
I think by looking at this sheep, I don't need to talk about the price. I mean, if you ask outside, these are the kind of ramps that will cost 10,000 plus. And I think the president intervening in trying to help people acquire ramps here is the most benevolent gesture that one could do for his people. And I think that's worth commendation, and it's also worth emulation, because if Gambians start doing this, obviously it will make things easier. And I would like to pray for the head of state, His Excellency, the President, for long life, good health, and a happy and prosperous Eid.
To take advantage of the opportunity given to us by our able leader. The prize you get from His Excellency is better. The rams are well fed. As I keep saying, this is a president who cares, who wants to make sure that his people are happy.
Some of the buyers, like Alhaji Sekou Sow, have traveled great distances to capitalize on the opportunity. We know the president would provide us with such an opportunity, like he has always done over the years, he said. Among other buyers located from the crowd were Christine Mandy, Horeja Jame, Ajisena Bukujabi, Yaman Jai, among others, who all heap praises on President Jammeh for providing them with ramps at affordable prices. According to the coordinators of the activities, sales are expected to continue in the coming days ahead of the feast.
We are here for as long as, the trucks keep arriving. We will be here until we exhaust everything. Yes, tomorrow we will be here, also until the day of the Tabaski. We will be here making sure that, what His Excellency intends, for the public, is definitely carried, to the letter, definitely speaking. Even if there is one ram available inside, we will give it out, because that is what he wants.
Indeed, the people we have spoken to are all indeed full of praises for the president for such a wonderful gesture. From the July 22nd grounds in Banjul, I am Samuel Ba.
Meanwhile, the sale of sacrificial rams by His Excellency the President, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, will continue tomorrow, Wednesday, at the July 22nd Square. This is to enable all those who were unable to buy rams on day one of the sales to have the chance to buy high-quality rams at affordable prices. Ferry Terminal, the country's main sea crossing point, is a hive of activities as hundreds of travelers make last-minute efforts to travel to their various destinations ahead of the Muslim Feast of Tobaski. Many are taking advantage of the smooth operations of the ferry services to travel between Banjul and Barra. Meanwhile, others prefer to use canoes plying the 7 nautical miles.
2 days to go before Muslims the world over reflect on the sacrifice of Prophet Ibrahim, marking the feast of Eid al-Adha, locally called Tobaski. Muslims across the world celebrate the feast in different forms, central to which is the slaughtering of the sacrificial lamb, the consumption of sumptuous dishes and dresses in beautiful African dresses in the case of Gambia. Most people in the rural Gambia prefer to spend Tobaski with the kid and kin in rural Gambia, putting extra pressure on transport service, including the ferries flying Banjul-Barra crossing routes, which enable others to reach destination as far as Senegal and beyond. So far, many express satisfaction with the state of affairs here. The man managing the ferry service, Hamidou Balde, spoke of the measures put in place to ease the movement of persons and goods, mindful of challenges that come with such festivities. During festivities like Tobaski, business tends to be a very high peak for even more canoe operators. Many people crossing the south bank also opted to use the small canoes, which they believe is faster. But with 2 ferries up and running from Banjul to Barra, it appears it is not business as usual for them. As it stands, Mod Lamindur and Wali Jonga are only hoping that clients will come for their service too. Kumbaba, Grts.
The Empretect project, which seeks to promote entrepreneurship with focus on the involvement of women and young people in the country's vastly untapped informal sector, is gradually expanding to draw would-be beneficiaries, particularly those living in rural communities. And in a bid to ensure inclusive participation, project officials recently held a day-long forum in the North Bank region. Abubakar Kamara was there and he prepares this news report.
It is that leverage that the entrepreneur has at its disposal to grow from one level to another, with that ambition far greater than its outlook among business enterprises. To some business executives and experts, the innovative entrepreneurship model is flawless and can thrive in any business climate, with its focus on grassroots development.
The Empretech project is more about building entrepreneurship skills. And entrepreneurship skills is not only about putting value to the businesses that they are already running, but it's also inculcating some form of confidence in those who are already doing business, and then giving them certain skills that are related to better organization of their projects, and how to better expand it, to recognize what they have as of greater value than they thought.
The one-day forum, bringing together business stakeholders as well as project beneficiaries, has the objective of modifying behaviors for sustainable business growth and improving lives of both the rural and urban poor. But if the words of veteran business advisors are anything to go by, there is hope for some enterprising Gambians.
We started the program barely about a year ago, and we had a target to train by this time about 300-400 entrepreneurs. And as of now, we have trained almost 700. But training is one thing, and application is quite another. So we thought within the program it was important to come and meet with the entrepreneurs, get an update as to how they feel about the project, what successes they have registered, what challenges they face.
Empretech, as a remarkable best practice program emanating from one of Vice President Jai Sedi's exchange programs, has that intent of developing micro, small and medium business enterprises and incubating fresh ideas responsive to the country's informal economic base.
What will happen is that they will now come up with some innovation, because they will understand that in business you don't only depend on what you know. You also have to learn other things that you don't know to add more value to what you are doing.
As that search and direction continues in a fashion quite familiar to many Gambian business outfits, the new innovative package is however emphasizing that it is not business as usual, as it is anchored on self-discipline and a vibrant savings culture for sustainable economic growth. Empretech Regional Forum continues in the Lower River region. Babakar Kamara, GRTS.
And to news just in, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, has again called for attitudinal change amongst Gambians by embracing animal husbandry as an economic activity in order to end the dependence on imported animals during festive periods, when prices usually skyrocket beyond the reach of the ordinary people. Professor Jammeh was speaking at State House after people turned the July 22nd square all day to buy rams provided by him at a very cheap price. Details of that report by Momodou Diallo will come in our 10 o'clock news bulletin. We take our first break now.
$10,000 from AfriCell this Tobaski.
I will buy a big Tobaski ram for my family and also get the nicest halftime made for me. I can buy 2 rams instead of 1.
AfriCell is back again with the biggest Tobaski promotion ever, offering up to $2.5 million cash. And every day, 10 lucky AfriCell subscribers will each get to win $10,000 cash.
But that's not all. Every Friday, the winners will double up to 20 winners for $10,000 each, making it $200,000 cash.
Simply call or SMS 1010 every day for only $3 to be part of the daily live draw on Afri Radio at 9 p.m.
waa bi dem jënd xar rek lu des jënd xaftaan comme ni ko DJ Amad waxee rek jënd xaftaan boo xamante dëkk bi kenn solo ko mosal ko rek mais lu rëy xam nga ñun moom day neex rek.
So SMS or call 1010 now. AfriCell wishes you a happy Tobaski the AfriCell way.
How cool is your bank? Are you or your child guaranteed a future? You.
Me?
Yes, you. At Guarantee Trust Bank, Current account holders can benefit from GT Bank School Fee Advance Service. This facility is offered to individuals in the employment of public or reputable private organizations whose salary are paid at GT Bank. The bank pays your university or your child's school fees directly, deducting it from your monthly salary. You can be eligible for this facility after 3 months of consistent salary payment into your account. Leased properties are acceptable to the bank, which can be used in the absence of a guarantor. All facilities are on merit and availability.
Okay.
This facility is strictly for the payment of school fees, both local and abroad.
Wow, GT Bank has done it again.
Indeed, yes.
GT Bank paying your school fee and my university.
GT Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Welcome back. The leader of the coup attempt in Burkina Faso says he wants a peaceful solution to the political crisis. That as the country's parliament dissolves the elite presidential guard who led last week's takeover. The army tells them to disarm or face attack. A deadline has expired, but a face-off continues. More on that in this DWTV report.
Burkina Faso's army back on the streets of the capital. After their return overnight, troops and armed personnel carriers were stationed outside the barracks of the elite presidential guard. That's the unit that carried out last week's coup. From the welcome afforded the army, many locals seem to believe that the coup is now over. But as yet, those celebrations seem premature. The coup leader has been holding negotiations and seems to be holding firm. On Monday night, he went on national television and apologized for his actions. He said he would step down, but set conditions. We deplore the loss of human lives, wounded people and material damage, and we offer our condolences to the grieving families. We confirm our commitment to return power to the civilian transition authorities after a definitive agreement to get out of the crisis made under the authority of ECOWAS. ECOWAS, the regional grouping, has been mediating in the crisis. Diandéré says he won't step aside until it's approved a deal. That would give him and others involved in the coup amnesty. It would also allow their political allies to stand in upcoming elections. For many in the population, though, that is asking too much. This is the national liberation. We are tired of this. We don't want Diandéré. We don't want the presidential guard. Burkina Faso is ours. We will save it. We have no need of ECOWAS here, nor the international community. The coup leader has promised to retaliate if the army attacks. Civil society leaders have called on protesters to clear the streets. These are tense hours in Burkina Faso.
We take our second break now.
On your mind.
2 people, 3 days, all for free.
You may be the lucky winner.
Dubai Dreams by Standard Chartered Bank. Dubai Mall, Bur Dubai, Terra, the shops.
Dubai Dreams.
Gold, diamonds, furniture, the sights and sound.
Dubai Dreams.
The Palm, Burj Khalifa.
Dubai Dreams by Standard Chartered Bank.
2 clients of the bank will be taken to Dubai, where everything is paid for.
Visa, air tickets, hotel reservation, and even pocket money.
2 people, 3 days, all for free.
Dubai Dreams.
Dubai Dreams by Standard Chartered Bank.
Dubai, the destination of choice.
For more information, walk into any of our branches or call us on 420-2275.
Dubai Dreams. Standard Chartered Bank, making memories beautiful to narrate.
Terms and conditions apply.
Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank.
Standard Chartered Bank.
Dubai Dreams.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of today's main stories. Another award for President Jammeh. African Leadership Magazine, a reputable international organization, has recognized the remarkable development initiatives being championed by the Gambian leader. Gambians are gearing up for Eid prayers, with many making last-minute attempts to secure sacrificial rams. A good number have already benefited from the presidential ram sales, which is underway at the July 22nd Square in Banjul. Burkina Faso's parliament has announced the disbanding of the elite Presidential Guards unit amid tension in the West African state. And Pentagon chief has denied turning a blind eye on reports of child sex abuse by U.S. military in Afghanistan. Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 8. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Do stay with us.